Alright, so I'm gonna tighten this up a bit. That looks about right there. Okay, the first faction we're gonna be doing today is gonna be Marik. And this is my little faction box. And I taped the little blurb on top of the box. And what I've also done is, since I'm not super familiar with all these mechs, and I have like 40 mechs, and it's gonna be, I know obviously what a Mad Cat is, or an Atlas, but all these other little tiny guys, they kind of blend into the background. I've got these little cheater cards here. Let's see if my new camera is gonna focus on that. Back it up just a bit. Come on, camera. There we go. So this is a Hermes, and I've got my color and their roll, and this way I can keep them on these cards and organized. So when I pick one up, I paint it, I put it back on their card, pick this one up, paint it, put it back on its card, and then when they go back in the old box, this will go in there with them. And if it's got some paint on it, that's fine too. So I got my little prismatic base coat on here, and I used Citadel base coater because I wanted to do a fairly thorough job on base coat. And I got these out of the box. They smell like cat piss. I don't know what that is, but I was like, oh God, that stinks. Just a side note. So I've got my Army Painter Marik Purple here, the official paint of BattleTech. And I got 3 drops in here. I am not watering this down. I'm just using it straight up according to the instructions. And we're going to go ahead. I got my big fat paintbrush here, and we're just going to whop this guy. Oh my gosh, that's dark. Oh my goodness. Ermagurg. Woo! I don't think this guy is white enough, but we're gonna do it. We're doing our thing. Oh man, this is very dark. Of course, you're supposed to put a white base coat on these, so I may have cheated myself on this guy. We're gonna find out. We're going to make the mistakes together. I may have to go back and rebase coat all these guys in just white instead of this Lensatic. But of course, this guy was very dark. I mean, a lot of these guys have a lot more white on them. Maybe this will look better later, after we get them going. Here. Come on. Now, I also have to take into account that these guys have guns, and not to paint the guns purple, but leave that for silver, for later. But let's get these guys done first. Oh man, looks like I'm going to need a little more paint than just 3 drops for all these dudes, because this dude has almost taken 3 drops all by himself. And it looks like it's all kind of bled in. Woo, man. I kind of want to go at him with a paper towel and dry some of that off. But there's our first dude right there. He's very, very, very purple. Not a whole lot of chromatic differentiation, but it's just step 1. We'll reserve our criticism till the end. Get some more paint here, another 2 drops, and this is an awesome right here, and we're going to paint him up. See, this guy's got a little bit brighter of a base coat. He doesn't look nearly as dark as that first guy, because he's got way more white. Yeah, I kind of line these guys up army style and just I base coated the crap out of all of them all at the same time. Just everybody gets a base coat of black and then they got to overspray of white. So, and this dude, he's got a gun. They all got guns, but I don't want any of this white showing. I am probably going to have to get a magnifying glass out to see all the cockpits and everything. Because these guys are the same size. They're supposed to be giant stumpy robots, but in reality, they're very tiny robots. With lots and lots of detail. And lots of nooks and crannies. Yeah, painting with this stuff straight up too, you're not watering it down, so it's not really... It does get down in there. It gets down in the nooks and crannies, but man, you're using a shitload of paint. I'm already out of paint. I may as well keep the lid off of this thing. Let's load up some paint here. Let's not be cheap with this stuff. Let's load it up. I mean, we only got like 5 mechs to do with this whole bottle, so... Let's go to town here. Let's go to town. Boop-a-doop. I'm going to leave that gun open because it's going to be silver. Not necessarily need to get that. Oh, God. I can't get in that one little spot there. Alright, there's our next guy right there. And that gun's going to be silver, so we're going to leave that open. You can definitely see how it picks out the detail. And that guy looks way better than the first guy. Let's put the first... Now that the first guy's dried up a bit, he's very dark. But his base coat was not as bright as the rest of these guys. Let's do a little guy here. This is a spider. We'll start at the top and work our way down. Ooh. Man, he's got some nooks and crannies. Now, most of these guys are from the anniversary set, the 2014 I think it was the 30th anniversary set. And you can tell because the bases aren't quite full hexagons compared to the newer guys, which have a full-on hexagon. Here, see that? I don't want to pet. Plus, they have little numbers on them. There's a 2. So, the sculpts on these older guys are more quote-unquote traditional, i.e. crappy. So, but, you know, let's say it's a classic look. And it's good that I'm finally starting to get paint on these dudes and starting to give these guys a little bit of character and attention they deserve. You know, we're going to finally be able to get some of these guys on the table and get them some life. This guy's been sitting in a plastic bag for a really long time, and he's kind of leaning forward off of his base, making him look a bit of a zombie. But some things can't be helped. Okay. Next, we have a trebuchet. Kind of looks a little like a cyclops. We're just gonna wonk this guy down. He's got a gun on his right arm here. We don't want to paint that. We'll just leave that the way it is. Now I have a secondary color on here. It says their secondary color is a bright green. And we'll just pick out a couple of spots where we'll give them some bright green little pickouts to make them a little more noticeable or distinct, a little more personality. I'm going to leave that other arm has a weapon on it as well. I'm going to do his hand, but leave his arm alone. Get his legs. Running out of paint. But we ain't gonna be cheap with the paint now. We don't have to be cheap. We got plenty. It's hard to see if you get all the nooks and crannies. Okay, that one's good. Looks like that. Doot doot. Doot doot. Pretty dark. But that's what it is. Alright, more paint. They got the little balls in here. They come in these kits. Some of them, I think the older paints don't have an agitator in them. But this one certainly does. Alright. Give me about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 drops. 6 drops ought to be good. Next we have a cicada, which is a scout. And I'm going to go on the top here. The top of this guy is pretty white. It's not blazing white. It's white enough though, because I can already see that the stuff is looking better. He's got some guns on him. So I'm going to try to leave those to pick out with silver. I'm not going to do those. I got a little on his gun because I was like, let's just get started. Irregardless of But that'll cover up. Don't worry. It's paint. That's what paint's for, is to cover up other stuff. Change the color on it. Let me put them down on the mat so I'm not shaking. I'm doing half the painting with my other hand. I'll just hold this. I'll hold this one still, and I'll just shake the guy. Boop, 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 boop. Give him a old double check. Make sure you got all the nooks and crannies. Got his upper half. Got his lower half. All right. So that's what his top half looks like. And see underneath, it's much darker. But since you're going to be looking at the top of him, mostly, because you're going to be like, we're going to be looking down at him like this. This is the more important. But he looks good all the way around. All right, and that is the cicada. And he's number 9 or 6. I don't know. 6 or 9, one of those. They went from, it's like number 1 in the set is the crappiest one, and number 24 is the nicest. Okay, now this is a Wolverine. This is our more modern, up-to-date 2020s guy. He's like a Robotech Defender. The old models. But this guy is going to get painted purple. I got a bunch of these dudes for some reason. I don't know if they came in the starter set or if they just throw one of these dudes in every kit. But I got a bunch. And he has a gun on his right arm, which we are going to try to leave alone. Try to. No guarantees. Getting the cracks. Getting the cracks. Alright, did we get that arm all the way? It looks like it. We got that arm. That one's the one I just had to be a little careful on. I'm going to go ahead and paint his rocket launcher purple as well. Now, these guys do get other color accents. Like, this one's bright. These are bright green accents. We'll put those on later. I just want to get some paint on these guys. I mean, because I put a little silver on these guns, and you can feel these. I mean, in Robotech, what do you call this game again? Battletech. In Battletech, you can pay anything you feel is legal. It's not like other games where it's like, oh, you can only use this X model in the game. You can feel the banana if you want, and it's legal in the game. They don't discriminate. So, but you can leave them just gray if you want or whatever. But we don't want to do that. We're not slackers here. We want to put our best foot forward. We want to put our most mediocre foot forward. How about that? I feel like if I had gotten more white on these guys, this would have looked much more amazing. So, for any of you guys watching and you haven't started yet, I don't think the Lensatic prismatic base coating is really doing me a service. I think it's really not, because these paints are so dark that I think if they were all white, they would look way better. Way better. But that's just my opinion, and we'll keep moving. Some of these guys are more white than others, but I may go back on some of my other guys and just give them a little bit more white, because this guy's got a lot of white on him, and he is really looking pretty freaking good. He is looking real good. Come back here, you. And this is my commander. He's my leader. He's the biggest and baddest dude I got in the inner sphere for this faction. Let's see. And there you go. I think he's looking pretty good. Let me see if I can't put him down here and zoom in. And if that works better as far as you being able to see him. So there's that guy. Let's see what this original first guy looks like now that he's dry. It's kind of a dull color. It's not as shiny as I thought. And I'm glad I came back because look, he's got a spot missing there and a spot missing right there. This guy is very dull. I mean, he's better than nothing. He is base coated. I don't know if this speed paint is as magical as they said it is. I can definitely see where I missed a couple spots. And it's okay. I mean, it's getting there. Let me just double check some of these other guys. Now that they've dried. Well, these guys are not dry, but I got some. Just a few little spots I missed. Some touch-ups here. Uh-oh. Okay. Thanks for watching, and we'll get another faction out here pretty soon.